peace, love, and Black Power family to another episode of Get This Wisdom Live. I am your host, Shaki Steiner, editor of This Wisdom magazine and creator of stories. My disclaimer is as follows, as it always is. I am with two children. They are here as I am home. They may do what children do. You may hear them in the background, laughing, playing, jumping, playing with toys, eating things. I might even have to stop and do motherly things. That's all a part of the process. Um, I decided to do this live here. Uh, I actually was motivated to do it a long time ago, uh, but even more so now, given the current reality that I am, my family are currently going through with the physical loss and transition of my father. um, we all know in the Black community, we tend to, it's a well-oiled machine that we're faced with, right? However, we tend to not take things as seriously as we should, not even have the proper knowledge of certain things and how things work as in that by design. Uh, this live here is kind of close to my heart because it was revealed to me that the healthcare system failed my father. And when people were, I've had conversations about it already, but and people are telling me I'm just looking for something or somebody to blame. That's that's not the case. That's here. I know what I read on my father's death certificate, and I know what I was told prior to his being released home when I spoke to multiple people that were responsible for care. I was told that my father was well enough to come home. I was told this that his death certificate and what his cause of death was showed me that what he initially went to the hospital for was never completely uh, taken care of. He was released with an ailment that ultimately played the biggest part in his demise. You know what I mean? And that hurts because I did my due diligence on his behalf. I spoke with the doctors. I spoke with the nurses. I spoke with so many different people that were involved in his care acts on the phone, round the clock, every hour for the first 72 hours. You know what I mean? So it's not like I did not try to be involved or stay abreast of what was going on. He had family members out here that were very much in his corner, supportive and doing our part. And for the healthcare system to tell us that he was fine, he was well enough to come home. Obviously, that's not the case. And this is a story shared by so many different black men. We black women have injustices in the healthcare system as well. However, this is about black men because too many of our brothers are falling victim to the system in many different ways. But the healthcare system that is supposed to be in place to care for all human life in this society is continuously showing its blatant biases, blatant, where you can have a male of another skin color go to one of these facilities and get treated with the utmost care, concern, and they're advocating and going above and beyond the call. You know what I mean? When it comes to our own fathers, brothers, sons, uncles, nephews, cousins, friends, our men are being treated like they don't matter, like their life doesn't matter. And that's where my issue with this whole Black Lives Matter thing. When did Black lives ever matter in this westernized society? When did we matter? When do we matter to anybody outside of ourselves, right? In any institution, any facility that we step into, there is always more obstacles, more hurdles. We're getting turned away. We're getting told, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. You can't afford this. You can't afford that. Like, this is any and every institution at this point. This is kind of piggybacking or veggie backing off of the last live I did with the Latinos getting mad at us for not joining their cause. But what about our cause? What about the cause of our men? What about the cause of our children? What about the cause of us women in the Black community that nobody seems to be seeing? Nobody seems to be paying attention to. Everybody's turning the other cheek. Everybody just going about their day. But this is the stuff we deal with. This is our reality. This is our struggle, our pain, our suffering that we deal with every single day in the Black community. This ain't stopped for us. If anything, it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. And everybody expects us to stop what we're trying to do, or stop what we need to be doing, or stop what we can't even begin to do because of all the dang on chips stacked against us to join their movement and their cause and help them and give them the numbers. But where is our support? Where is the outcry for the Black community and the suffering that we endure daily? I don't care what your bank account looks like. I don't care what your education status is. I don't care if I just thought a lot of things don't matter when it comes to the color of our skin and how we are treated. My father, like many other men, and let me say this to you, Black men. I'm a Black woman, so I can say this, and hopefully it's received in the most righteous manner. Brothers, we we need you to take your help a little bit more seriously. We need you to. I know the doctors don't have all the proper answers, but they have access to testing and things of that nature that we don't readily have. You need to take your health more seriously. You need to hold these people accountable. You need to hold your families accountable. You need to let your families know what's going on so we can be accountable and support you in whatever it is. So we can go to bat for you. So we can fight for you. You know what I mean? You don't have to do this alone. Stop putting everything and everybody above your health. Because at the end of the day, when you're not here no more, the same people that you're sacrificing for, they're gonna be destroyed because you not here no more. We gotta do better. It is 2025 as per the Gregorian pardon me, calendar year. And we're still having all of the same discussions. You know what I mean? It's getting pretty redundant at this point. You know, we and people in my age group, and I speak to us because we are I am at the forefront of the so-called millennial generation, if you want to call it that. We've had access to more information about a lot of things that our elders may have had. So we have to do better. You know what I mean? We have to learn from the mistakes of those who came before us and apply the wisdom that they left us with in order to move forward. It's the same Hofa ideal and concept. And it's really sad. And then we can go into black women, but I prefer that to be a different conversation because black women have we have our own struggle within the healthcare system. Like it's crazy on how we're treated. But black men are and I'm not the whole pick me thing is it's not it don't apply here. When you got a man that you love, a black man that you love, whether it's your spouse, your mate, your father, your brother, your son, whoever, you have to take their current reality into the highest level of consideration because that's your family member. You got people in society that's telling you, oh, don't consider black men, don't be considerate of them. Don't try to focus on their needs or their happiness. Don't focus on them at all. Make them obsolete. And that's a part of the design as well. So when you have someone like myself, and there are plenty of us out here that are advocating in this way, we are attacked, torn down, and insulted because we actually care for the men that are in our direct circumference. We actually don't look at them like they are our enemies. We don't fear such a deep resentment or a traumatic bitterness that we look at them as if they don't matter. Because when it boils down to it, when we need somebody to protect us, when we need somebody to go hard to pay for us, when we need somebody to help us out, one of the people that you're normally calling is a black thing, whether it's somebody you're dealing with on an intimate level or it's somebody in your family. When you need somebody, more times than often than not, that conversation is involving a black man. So we have to have these discussions because it brings awareness. It brings forth awareness to those that we still have here with us, that we still care about, that we still love, that still have these attacks going on against them. No, my father is no longer here in a physical sense. He's an ancestor now. So this part of his struggle is complete. This part of his journey is complete. But there are still black men that I care for that are still here, that are still involved in this marathon, and they are still taking their stripes. They're still getting whipped, whether it be actual whipping or more of a symbolic type of deal. We have to have discussions at this level because it gets to the root, it gets to the heart. You know, we have to utilize the healthcare system in certain ways, not for everything, because they don't have all the answers. And most of the things that we do go through, we can heal ourselves from if we actually commit ourselves to the process. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but we have to utilize their system long as we're on this particular part of the land as we're here. We're not abroad. We're not abroad. We're not anywhere else. As much as we may want to be in Africa, as much as we may want to be in Central America, South America, China, or in Middle East, Europe, whatever. As much as we may yearn to make those pilgrimages and trips to Mecca, if you will, we are our the reality is here in America. We have to stop being delusional in the so-called conscious community because you're not in Africa. Not nothing against the motherland. My roots are there. Your roots are there. We got roots there, yeah, for sure. But we was not born there. We were born here. Our families are here. And our interest has to lie in building up here first before we can build up anywhere else. Now, can we reach across the sea and being camaraderie and build brother and sisterhood? Absolutely. Can we do um international commerce and business and start investing over there? Absolutely. But we have to have the same amount of vigor, the same amount of uh, hunger, passion, and purpose to invest in our own backyard. Like it's a lot that we have to work on right here that affects us on an everyday basis. Like a lot of us can't just get up and go to Africa. That's a dream. I'm sure that's a dream for a lot of people to repatriate. It's a fantasy of mine that I can manifest it to reality. However, as it stands right now in the current time, that's not something that is possible for myself. And I'm sure it's not possible for you either. If it is, great. Great for you. Good for you. Wonderful for you. But most of us, we are not nowhere near that. That's not reality. The reality of the situation is we have a lot stacked against us right now. And we have to start figuring it out. We have to start taking those baby steps. And like my big brother told me years ago, when my mother passed away, baby steps leads to big. So we have to start making baby steps in different in all these different ways that is holding us back. We have to do better. It starts within us. We know that we have a whole system that has been designed to tear apart the original man and woman of this whole entire planet because we have started off human life everywhere. That's a scientific fact. But you, me, us, right here in America, we got some work to do here. And we have to address certain things. The healthcare system, I'm tired of seeing our men go in there alive and come back out a different way. I'm really tired of that. I have so many that I could name in mind. We have to do better, family. I would like for this to go a little bit further, but it's the middle of the day. My phone is picking up with calls and what have you. But I think I will do. You know what? I'm probably going to commit to doing a part two to this. Um, Before I do any other subject matter, I'm going to do a part two to get a little bit deeper on this subject matter because it's very near to my heart. It should be very near to your heart. We have to address the health of our men. A lot of them are still, they look past whatever they're feeling physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. They try to block it out so they can provide or be that man in their family to provide. And we have to do better at providing the proper support for them. So I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to pause because I do have to tend to some other things, but I will be back um, very soon. I won't say today, I won't say tomorrow, but I'm giving the audience my word to do a part two to this since it was so very good. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I appreciate your support. Until next time, peace, love, and black power.